My name is Omar Powell, 19 years of age. I became Muslim in 2011, Ramadan. I'm currently studying college in business studies. Previously, before I was Muslim, came from a Christian background, not really practicing in Christianity, had a lot of questions, found a lot of inconsistencies within the religion, wasn't really content, really not living a good lifestyle.
After a few years passed by, I was about 14, 15, I started to question, is Isa really the Son of God? And, it didn't make sense, inconsistencies in the Bible, and, there's a whole lot of other factors surrounding the religion. Is the Bible man-made, or is it a book of Allah? And after some time, I left the religion. I didn't really, my heart wasn't really into the religion. We wasn't that content believing. I looked into the occult and these esoteric kind of things. Looked into Judaism, but prior to that, I never actually went into looking into Islam, mainly because at the time there was a lot of things in the media surrounding Islam, terrorism, suicide bombings. There was a different stereotypes that made it seem like it was just for a religion from the people from the East, but they never actually go into the link in it between Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Ibrahim and Isa, and how they all connected. So it's something I left. Then I had some Muslim friends who they would briefly tell me that Jesus is the Son of God and that he was a prophet, and because they were Muslims, I was quite surprised that they believed that Isa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam they thought he was a prophet. But then after a few months came by, we started discussing it more. I started doing my own research, looking into the history of Islam, the links between the prophets, and then my understanding became better that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the last prophet and the messenger of Allah. So I started to understand it more, that he was just our prophet for we were part of his ummah and not of Isa's ummah, and it started to make a lot more sense. And I was around about the age of 16, previously age of 15 to 16, but after I found out about Islam, I stopped looking at everything else. I just started taking an interest and became more fascinated, intrigued with Islam. He said, "What's your opinion about Islam?" And I said, "It makes sense." I said, "It makes sense more than Christianity." And I said, it is the truth. It's very consistent. I told him about my previous religion, about Christianity, and I said, "I don't believe in it anymore." He said, "So what's your opinion about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam?" I said, "I believe he is a prophet." And he said, "Do you believe there's only one God?" I said, "Yes, I believe there's only one God." He says, "So now you're a Muslim." He says, "But you don't know that you're a Muslim."
That conversation led to the question about why I'm not Muslim and the consequences of me not becoming Muslim, what I can gain from becoming Muslim.
If you choose not to utter the statement, he says, and you walk down wherever, he goes, a bus could hit you, you could have a heart attack, a stroke. He said anything could come on you, any calamities could befall you. So I took that in, but still that wasn't enough to convince me. So then the question came. He said, "Why don't you say the Shahada? Why don't you become a Muslim?" And Subhanallah, wallah, the words no couldn't physically come out of my mouth. I wanted to say no, but it wouldn't come out of my mouth. Yeah, in my heart is la, but it wouldn't come out. Subhanallah. So he asked me, "Do you want to say the Shahada?" And I said yes. The brother said, "Repeat after me." So Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. That was it. The words come out of my mouth. I didn't actually know what I was saying at the time. But after, then he explained, "You haven't done anything." He said, "You've just made the statement. You testified that there's no God but Allah and that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is his last and final messenger."
After taking my Shahada, I didn't really feel too content with what I've done. I was quite confused. At the time, I didn't think it was the right thing to do. I didn't really have a lot of knowledge into it, but
so much waswas from the shaitans coming into my head. I thought I wanted to leave Islam now, and I haven't even been into it for a day. I got home, I sat down, and subhanAllah, I thought to myself, now that I'm a Muslim, I might as well read the book and see what's actually in it, because I've never read it for myself. I opened the book, I read Surah Al-Fatiha, but as I turned the page and I read Surah Al-Baqarah, Alif Lam Mim, This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those who are conscious of Allah. But when I read that ayah, you know, Allah's taken away all of those doubts. So I began to feel scared for myself because I thought I've doubted Allah.
I started to think, how could I have ever, you know, doubted this religion or doubted the power of Allah, the truth behind his religion and his book. So it was something that within a matter of an hour, I had so many doubts. I wanted to leave Islam, and now I was so content that I'm in it.
The language that's used, and this is just in the translation, the language that's used is very powerful. It feels like direct speech, and I started to feel that connection with Allah with his book. So to me, the book was invaluable now. I would take it everywhere I went. I would keep it with me. I would read it.